Gretchen Heischkens.
And I'm Holly Wade, and we started Trades of Hope. Life took a very interesting turn a few years back. At the age of 40, I had a heart attack. It was a really scary time for me because I just thought, I'm 40 years old, I have 5 kids, I'm a pastor's wife, this just can't be happening. They told me that I had a bad heart and that I would eventually need a pacemaker and a defibrillator. And suddenly my world came to this crashing halt. And I just ended up being so afraid. I was afraid to do anything. I was afraid to exercise, I was afraid to be alone. I was afraid, oh my gosh, what if I die and leave my husband and my 5 kids? And I found myself basically curled up in a ball and like on my bed just crying and crying. And then I started praying, God, there's going to be a purpose in this. Why is this happening? And as I prayed, I just heard God tell me, to live in fear is to not live at all. And I decided, I don't know how long I have. None of us do. 10 out of 10 of us are going to die. That's the reality of life. And I thought, I don't know when that time is. I'm not going to live in this place of fear stopping me from doing what God's called me to do. So I really started praying, okay, if I don't have that much time, God, what is my destiny? What is the calling on my life? And God did some really cool things. God brought to life His dream for my life instead of my dream for my life. And I ended up at a home party. I sat around watching all these women just chatting and talking and laughing, and it was sort of like I was outside looking in, and I was like, this is really cool. What could we do with this, God? How about if we got products made from women that are in desperate situations, women that really, really could use that money to help them, if we got those women to make these products instead. And I started praying, God, if this is something you really want me to do, bring somebody else who can help me, somebody that would mesh with me and be able to grow this into something amazing and what you want it to be. And I met this really cool girl at a homeschool co-op. Gretchen had just started coming to the co-op, and I really wanted to get to know her because she just kind of threw all these cool, insightful things out as people were talking and stuff, and I thought, this is the lady I need to meet.
I had worked in charity for a long, long time in Haiti, about 8 years. And we had started an orphanage and a clinic and a school, and those are all really great things, except it just didn't seem to be having the effect that I wanted to see in the community. I was asking God at that point, God, what should we be doing differently? Because we want to be a light. But I got a copy of a book by Muhammad Yunus called Banker to the Poor, and he writes about the amazing things that can happen when you give a woman a small business loan. The fact that she can do such great things. They are capable, intelligent women that have struggled through life in ways that, at least I myself, have never had to try and even comprehend, let alone deal with. And so I had resigned my position. It's an amazing organization, but I just knew that my time there had come to an end. And so I really thought I was going to clean my closets, and I was going to cook real meals for my family, and I was going to homeschool my kids and all of that stuff. And that's where Holly really helped me a lot with the homeschooling stuff, and she had become a good friend.
And so one day we said, why don't we go for a walk on the beach? So we went for a walk on the beach, and I thought, I'm going to throw this idea out at her and see what happens. And oh my goodness, when I heard Gretchen's story, I knew this is something God was doing. God had put us together. That walk on the beach was supposed to happen.
As we're walking on the beach, she plants these seeds in my head. And then I started praying about it, and I thought, this is amazing. This is just so amazing, because this is how I felt like I should be helping other people. And so we start brainstorming, and we start praying, and we start researching on the internet, and we just found so many beautiful things made by beautiful women. And they're women that really just needed an opportunity to shine and to be all that God created them to be. So that's what began our exciting adventure.
The neat thing was God really put in our hearts to involve our daughters in it too, to involve Chelsea and Liz, who are amazing all in their own right.
So as Holly and I were talking about the beginnings of Trades of Hope and just getting excited about the idea that we really felt God was placing on our hearts, our daughters actually were in Italy on a school trip. And I told Elizabeth that she was only allowed to use her cell phone in emergencies because it was so expensive, but I couldn't help it. I'm actually in the parking lot at Target, actually, and I just called her, and I couldn't wait to tell her what we were thinking.
my mom had called me when we were standing in front of the Coliseum saying that her and Holly had this great business idea, and as soon as we got home we needed to be on board, and it was going to be this great business that changed lives.
Gretchen and my mom told us about how this business would help women out of poverty. We were so excited that we could be part of empowering women in America and throughout the world, and also travel and just be part of something that was bigger than ourselves. So that was so exciting to us, even at a young age. When Elizabeth and Chelsea came back from Italy, they jumped in with us. We actually started doing home parties, and we were having these home parties with our friends, and they were loving it. And who was it who was dying to jump on board? Corey. Our awesome customer service. So Corey's one of the first ones, like, I gotta be a part of it. And so we were doing it just, locally and growing and understanding and how it works and all that stuff. And Chelsea made a Facebook page and everything, and then it got out, and then it got out. And one day, the four of us, we had gone shopping. We went down to a fair trade store, and we were looking at the stuff and really just brainstorming about the next steps of it. And all of a sudden, my husband starts texting me and saying, what is going on? My phone is going off like crazy, because he was getting all the Facebook messages and all the email messages, and it was going nuts. We had all these people from all over the country within like 2 days of putting it up there on Facebook, writing us saying, I've got to be a part of this. This is amazing. This is something God told me I'm supposed to be a part of. And so all of a sudden, we're looking at each other like, oh my goodness, we have a business. It's happening, and it was happening. And so we knew right then, and I think I got really emotional.
Yeah, we all started crying a little bit.
On the corner of the street, just thinking, what is God about to do?
And soon after that, we took a trip to Haiti, and we got to experience the artisans for ourselves and see the life change that Trades of Hope really would make one day. And that was a great trip.
It was so exciting taking Holly and Chelsea with us back to Haiti for the first time as the Trades of Hope founders. But this trip was special because this time we were forming a long-term partnership with these people that we are meeting, and it wasn't, we didn't have to wonder when we were going to see these people again or anything like that. We knew that as soon as we got back home, we were going to start work that was going to empower them out of poverty. I even remember in January 2010, during the earthquake in Haiti, I remember feeling so powerless to help all these people that I loved. And I know my mom was going over there to help relief efforts, and I was at home and I felt like I couldn't do anything. And little did I know that soon we would be founding Trades of Hope later on in that year. And finally I felt like my passions and the things that I really wanted to get involved in were now accessible to me, because I could be a part of Trades of Hope and a part of the sustainable cycle of creating jobs and changing lives long term.
We're excited that we are seeing this all come to fruition, and God is opening a door for this to happen in bigger and bigger ways.
Having you all be a part of Trades of Hope as Compassion Entrepreneurs has really added a part to Trades of Hope that I never anticipated, and I really feel blessed by having all of you in our lives as well.
And really, we've created a sisterhood.
I wouldn't change it for anything.